Africa to Caribbean, elements of cultural retention. Caribbean culture is a blend of Amerindian, European, African, and Asian influences. Today we focus on selected elements that survived the deliberate disruption during slavery. At the end, you will select one aspect from this presentation or any other aspect that you are interested in for your own research and presentation. Let's get started. Oral tradition. Crick crack, break my back. Yes, it's story time. By the way, that call and response between the storyteller and the audience signaling a story is also an African tradition. A lovable spider? It's not often that we think about a spider as lovable. But who doesn't love a Nancy, the trickster spider, originally from West and Central Africa tradition? He uses his wits to survive against bigger opponents. He's a champion for the underdog, but he's also very vain and greedy. Sometimes he wins, and sometimes his tricks backfire on him and he gets what he deserves. Feed the people. It's Friday and time for lunch. Would you like some fufu? Yes, I did say fufu, because in Western Africa, they prepare fufu by boiling and pounding starchy foods such as yam and plantain into a ball, which is eaten after it is dipped into a sauce. Sounding familiar? So what you really want for Friday lunch is a Barbados national dish, cuckoo and flying fish. Traditionally, we cook it with cornmeal and okra, stir it into a ball, pour the sauce over it, and serve it with fried or steamed flying fish, and maybe some veg and ground provisions as well. And just as they do, we also make cuckoo with starches such as breadfruit, yam, and when you add other starches such as cassava and eddos, we continue the African tradition of including ground provisions, or as we sometimes like to call it, bread kind. Leisure time. Let's look at the game called Worry. There are still a few people that play this spit and seed strategy game in the region. Your goal is to capture more seeds than your opponent as you move them around the 12 pits or houses on the board. Let's make some moves. Here we have a board set up. This is my side of the board with my 6 houses ranging from 1 to 6. On the other side, this is where my opponent would sit, and his or her 6 houses. We move counterclockwise around the board, moving the seeds at a time. So for example, in this game, I have 2 seeds in my house 6. So if I take up these 2 seeds and I drop them in the next 2 consecutive houses, which would take me into house 1 and 2 on my opponent's side, my last seed I drop in 2, and there are 3 seeds in there now, and I would be able to capture all 3 of those seeds and place them in my section. My aim is to capture more seeds, and once I have 25 out of the original 48, I win the game. Moko Jumbies, as stilt walkers are sometimes called in the region, reflect our retention and adaptation of African tradition. The god Moko watched over and protected from evil from on high. Now, stiltmen entertain with their acrobatic dancing and form part of the spectacle of carnival and other celebrations. The stiltman is just one character of the masquerade, and there are many others coming from the African traditions. Can you think of some? Music. my heartbeat. The drum is the heartbeat of Caribbean music and rhythms. They could be made from animal skin, stretched over hollowed out tree trunks, or sugar casks. Often banned during slavery for fear they would be used to spread word of rebellion, the enslaved and their descendants have fashioned instruments using things such as the calabash and the seeds from the shak-shak or flamboyant tree, which have evolved, as you see here, with the calabash board covered with beads so that when you shake it, it makes a percussive sound that helps to keep the rhythm. And the shak-shak seeds would be placed inside of shakers so that you get the rhythm to accompany you as well. Another thing that was used was bamboo. And this bamboo, believe it or not, was part of the evolution of the steel pan. An indigenous musical instrument, the only instrument it is claimed that was invented in the 20th century. But the tambu bamboo instruments, as they were called, were cut at varied lengths and they produced a range of sounds, just as the depth of the steel pan control their range of sound. So in this shot where you can see the Exodus steel band from Trinidad, you see that there are a number of pans with different lengths on their skirts. Here's a pretty short skirt. This is the tenor pan and it plays the melody. It's the highest pan sound in the band. Here's another pan which is called the cello pan, and this has a longer skirt. It produces a deeper tone. In this shot we're not able to see the bass pan, which would be a full length and obviously produces the lowest or deepest notes. You can just make out one of the percussion instruments, the scraper, which helps to keep the rhythm of the band as well. So I have focused on just a few elements that have been retained in Caribbean culture from our African traditions, or West African traditions in particular. So remember we had fufu, there was wari, the stiltman or moko jambi, the drum, and of course, Anansi. You should select one of these or another area that interests you. Language, religion, and dance offer other possibilities. Explore how we still reflect traditions in some aspect of our life. And you should create a short PowerPoint presentation of your own. Full instructions will be given to you. Good luck and have fun.